विजडम कोचिंग चैनल में आपका स्वागत है। यदि आपने हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो इसे सब्सक्राइब कर ले ताकि आप कोई भी वीडियो मिस न करें।
Why do we respire? All the living organisms are made up of small microscopic units called the cells. These cells have different functions to perform in these organisms, such as digestion, respiration, transportation, and excretion. The cells can perform this function only if they get the energy to do so. Hence, all living organisms need food, which gives them the required energy. The energy present in the food gets released when the organisms respire or breathe. Cellular respiration can be defined as the process in which the food that we eat is broken down inside the cells, which results in the release of energy. All the cells in living organisms undergo cellular respiration. The cellular respiration takes place in a cell organelle called mitochondria. The oxygen that an organism breathes in reacts with the carbohydrates, glucose, present in the food and results in the release of carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Types of respiration. Aerobic respiration. 1. This kind of respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen. 2. It leads to release of a high amount of energy in living organisms. 3. Human beings and many other animals undergo aerobic respiration. 4. Carbon dioxide and water are also released in aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. 1. This type of respiration happens in the cells, in the absence of oxygen. 2. It results in a low amount of energy. 3. Yeast and sometimes human beings undergo anaerobic respiration. 4. Animal muscle cells release lactic acid and yeasts release ethanol and carbon dioxide in anaerobic respiration. Anaerobes, organisms that can exist in the absence of air, are called anaerobes. They undergo anaerobic respiration, hence can get energy even without oxygen. For example, yeasts. These are unicellular organisms that exist in the absence of oxygen as well. As a byproduct, they release ethanol and carbon dioxide. That is why they are used to make wine and beer. This is called as alcohol fermentation. Anaerobic respiration. In human beings, sometimes muscles of human beings can respire without oxygen. This generally happens when we undergo a heavy exercise such as running, weightlifting, cycling, or walking for a longer duration. In such situations, the muscles require more energy and the supply of oxygen is not enough. Hence, anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscles. As a result of muscles also produce lactic acid along with energy. This lactic acid accumulates in the muscles and causes cramps. That is why we often feel cramps while we do heavy exercises. Glucose, lactic acid, energy. In order to get relief from cramps, we can take a hot water bath or massage our muscles. This is so because hot water bath or massage improves the blood circulation in the muscles. As a result, the oxygen reaches the cells easily, which breaks on the lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. Breathing. Breathing can be defined as a process in which organisms, with the help of their respiratory organs, take in the oxygen-rich air present in the surroundings and release out air that contains high amount of carbon dioxide in it. Breathing occurs continuously in the organisms. Breathing rate can be defined as the number of times a person breathes in a minute. The breathing rate is not always constant in human beings. We generally breathe faster when our body needs more energy, for example while exercising. This is so because the body needs more oxygen that can break down the food and produce more energy. An average adult human being breathes 15 to 18 times in a minute. While exercising, this rate can change up to 25 times a minute. The mechanism of breathing in human beings: we take in the air present in the environment through our nostrils, which travels through the nasal cavity, then it moves through the windpipe and reaches the lungs. The lungs are located in the chest cavity, which is surrounded by the ribs. On the floor of the chest cavity lies a muscle sheet called diaphragm. During the breathing process, the movement of the ribs and diaphragm takes place. This is so because the lungs expand and contract during breathing. As we take in the air, it fills up the lungs. This moves the diaphragm downwards and the ribs outwards, the lungs when releasing out air from the body, which brings back the diaphragm and the ribs to their original positions. Inhalation is the process of taking the air that contains oxygen inside the body. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves down and the ribs moves upwards and outwards, thereby increasing the space in chest cavity. This leads to the movement of air inside the lungs. Exhalation is a process of releasing out air that contains carbon dioxide out of the body. During exhalation, the diaphragm moves to its former position and the ribs move downwards and inwards, thereby reducing the size of the chest cavity. As we inhale the air present in the surroundings, sometimes various unwanted elements such as smoke and dust are also included in it. However, they get stuck in the hair in our nostrils, but some of them can get through the nasal cavity. They thus cause irritation in the nasal cavity, which makes us sneeze. This helps in getting rid of the unwanted particles out of the nasal cavity. Many insects like cockroaches have small openings called spiracles present on the sides of the bodies. Also, they have an air tube-like structure called the trachea that allows the exchange of gases in these insects. The air enters the body through the spiracles and diffuses in the cells via the trachea. Similarly, the air from the cells enters the trachea and moves out of the body through spiracles. Earthworms have a soft, slimming and moist skin, hence the gases can easily pass in and out of the earthworm through its skin. Similarly, frogs also have a slippery and moist skin that can help in breathing. However, frogs contain lungs too. Animals that live underwater have special respiratory organs called gills. They are a comb-like structure present on the skin of these animals. Gills allow the exchange of gases between animals and the water easily. Some animals, called the amphibians, can breathe on land by lungs and through moist skin underwater. For example, frogs and toads. Respiration in plants. Plants respire through tiny pores present on their leaf surface called stomata. Oxygen enters the plant, while carbon dioxide leaves the plant through these pores. Roots of plants respire through air spaces present in the soil. The woody stems of plants have lenticels too for the exchange of respiratory gases. Why plants can die? If overwatered, we know that the roots get oxygen from the soil. We also understand that the air in the soil is present between the soil particles. Along with the air, soil also contains some water or moisture. If we overwater the plants, the spaces between the soil particles get clogged. As a result, the roots will not be able to get enough air and the plant can die. Thanks for watching. If you are not subscribed our channel, then subscribe it for more videos so that you do not miss any video. Subscribe. Thank you.